Well, we're back at the grill with Chef Ken from the Pointe Hilton Hole in the Wall. Squaw Peak.
At Pointe Hilton Squaw Peak.
Okay, you know, it's a lot of words, but it's a great place to go. Just remember hole in the wall, and remember this, because this is some pretty amazing stuff. This is the barbecue sauce that they are known for, and they actually sell it. So
$7 a bottle.
You may not actually give us all of the secret recipe ingredients
I'll hold
in
out
it,
half of an ingredient.
but we're going to make a pretty mean one anyway. So grab your little microphone and tell me a little bit about some of the primary ingredients that are going to really bump up the flavor for us.
They gave me the stick of power, so you're going to have to help me with this.
Okay.
We're going to start off with ketchup.
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
Then,
I like how you're kind of sneaky like that. If I hold the microphone, she has to do all the work.
executive chef for a reason.
Let me just tell you, this spoon is so hot.
Is it too hot?
It's hot. It's okay.
There we go.
A little better.
That one's been sitting in the
All right, brown sugar.
Okay, brown sugar.
Yeah.
Do we need all of this?
Sure.
Okay. You think that it's not that hot today? Forget about that. Just put your metal spoon in the sun for about half an hour or more. Okay, so...
You're doing good. You're doing great.
All right. Now, so the base of this is going to be the ketchup.
Yeah.
Then we're going to add in a little bit of brown sugar.
Right.
Is it the dark sugar or the lighter stuff?
This is light brown sugar because then we're going to add molasses, and that's what's going to bring the darkness
Okay,
into it.
okay.
Yeah.
Now what?
This barbecue sauce, though, as barbecue sauces go, as you start to go further east in the country, it starts to get zestier. As you start going west, it gets a lot richer and sweeter.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if anybody realized
that.
that.
I didn't know that.
And so we're actually making a richer barbecue sauce today. So molasses.
Okay. A little dark molasses.
Yeah,
Throw
that's
that in
going to
there.
give it its rich texture.
Okay.
Okay, chili powder.
Now, chili powder is different than like...
Yeah, this is actually dark chili powder, so
Okay.
it gives a little bit of sweetness to it and smoke at the same time.
Now, could we throw this in a blender or something to kind of... or no?
We could if you wanted to cheat like that.
Oh, I'm a cheater. Okay.
We're good then.
Paprika?
No, cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper.
Because we want that heat. Granulated garlic,
Okay.
because nothing tastes better than if it doesn't have garlic. Granulated onion. Now we use granulated because we're not going to cook it. If we used real onions or real garlic, then we would actually cook it for a little
gotcha.
bit.
Okay.
So we are kind of doing the half cheater method.
All right. You're
All
my
right.
people then.
And the last ingredient, and the piece de resistance, the liquid smoke.
Oh, okay. A little bit goes a long way with that stuff,
A little
right?
bit goes a very, very long way. So we don't want to go too crazy with this, but you have about almost a gallon of product here, starting with roughly about 6 to 7 cups of ketchup.
Now, is it kind of like a marinade in that you need to kind of let
You like that?
the flavors kind of seep in and kind of blend together?
Roughly
give it a
about 45 minutes, because we're going to use our low and slow method. That's where all the flavors start to marry themselves together.
I like that.
like
They
that?
marry themselves. You are like the king of words. We sprinkle.
Like a thesaurus.
We sprinkle a little rub on and we marry the flavors. Okay, so while this kind of sits for a little bit, and we're going to ultimately put it with our ribs, let's go to the mac and cheese.
Yes,
and bring Nate into the mix here so that he can help us out a little bit, make
Chef
him do the
Nate,
hard work.
He's going to make our what we call big boy mac and cheese. And we call it big boy mac and cheese because it's got beer in it, it's got bacon in it, and that's what all big boys love.
Boy loves.
Now,
With the beer, the cheaper the better.
okay, now why the beer? I've done this show for 4.5 years, and I've never seen a mac and cheese with beer in it.
I like to do it because it's got that kind of bitterness, and then when you add the cream to it, and it's got a little bit of sweetness to it, it all just really brings it together.
Oh, okay.
It blings it together.
It blings it and
It's
it
the
brings
bling
it.
bling in
It's
our
all.
mac and cheese.
Now you're speaking my language. So the bacon is already kind of done up, and we put it aside. So the grease, we're not working with the bacon grease.
Best thing to do is use leftover bacon from breakfast.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the key to win there. And then we're going to go ahead and add the beer. So it's kind of a fondue, if you will.
All right.
Is what we're making the base like you would for a beer cheese fondue. And then the bacon, the garlic, again, bringing all the flavors together. After that, we add the heavy cream, which is really the mother base for macaroni and cheese.
As everybody at home is watching, we had talked in the first segment about how if you really hadn't thought about the ribs, you couldn't do the slow and low method. But this is something we could whip up pretty quickly, right?
Oh, absolutely. At the restaurant, at the Hole in the Wall, we actually make this a la minute or to order. And it takes 3 minutes, I would say.
While you're talking about the restaurant, remind me where you're located and what the ambiance is and just a little bit about the place.
We're at the Hole in the Wall restaurant at the Pointe Hilton Squaw Peak in Phoenix, and it's kind of it went from a transition from a cowboy steakhouse to kind of a southern smokehouse.
Oh.
We've actually just rolled out a new menu, which is fantastic, where we've kind of taken that southern hospitality, introduced it into the menu and also into the flavors. We're using our we call it the old kettle smoke box. It's an old rusty kettle that's probably about 60 years old. We've cleaned it up, we've seasoned it again, and that's where we smoke 99% of our meats, from brisket to ribs to the big beef
Open for
ribs.
lunch and dinner?
Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh, I cheated you a little bit. All right, Nate, don't stop working. Start mixing that together here in the last segment. We're going to show everybody how this all kind of blends together. I'm sure there's some beautiful way that Chef Ken could come up with, you know, a description for it. But in the meantime, what I can just say is it's going to be doggone good by the time we get to the end of the show, Andy.